Okay, so good evening. So we'll see today regarding Serenity with Cucumber and Selenium. So I think last previous in our videos we have recorded for Selenium Cucumber and also rest assured separately. So this time we planned of doing it Selenium, Serenity and the Cucumber. So on top of what we already saw like Selenium and Cucumber, we thought of on top of that we'll add one more layer that is Serenity, right? So the what is the purpose of Serenity is, right? No need to create the framework from the scratch. Already companies would have have an inbuilt framework. So this is an open source a framework which is developed. Okay, so that in the on the top of the framework we can enhance our whatever we are going to automate, like suppose in UI, right? A Selenium we can do. If you are going for API we can do rest assured. Okay, so there will be inbuilt already a default framework there. On the top of that we are adding this. This is one of the purpose. And also reporting is good when compared to your normal Selenium Cucumber. Reporting is good in your Serenity. So the same thing we are just going to enhance. We'll see some demo of this framework. So what we are doing is we are going to github.com Serenity BDD. Okay, we can you can search in Google to the Serenity BDD, and you see there are a lot of frameworks which they are given actually. If you scroll up and down, right, you see Serenity JBK, Serenity Jira. They have given the different frameworks so that we can download that and we can enhance our framework according to our needs. Okay. So now we are just doing the Serenity Cucumber framework. So we have already downloaded this framework, Serenity Cucumber file starter. We have downloaded and we have added to the our Eclipse, right? So we added this is a default framework, right, which they gave. This we added to our Eclipse. So you can go to your file, open file systems, and you can import the right project, right, or you can pull from your GitHub, right, if you have your GitHub account. Okay, so you can do that. Okay, so this is one framework where we are going to enhance. Okay, so now if you go and see the pom.xml, they are the Serenity guys have already added the entire dependency. No need to do anything, right? So normally in our Selenium Cucumber, we go there and add dependencies, right? The Selenium Java, the Selenium the Apache Py or the Cucumber, the Jane test ng, right? Selenium core, the Cucumber core, right? We'll add a lot of jars, right? Like Log4j will be adding. So here that Serenity guys have already default. They given that pom.xml, so no need to add any pom.xml or dependencies because they have already given this dependency in their framework. So this is makes our work very easy, right? Just call that and run it. Okay. So this is one of the advantage here. And next, right, if you go to a Selenium, we will create a base class. Base class means for initializing code we use write, right? So that also no need to write in our Serenity framework because these guys have already created some reusable methods which we can call to our write script. Okay. So if you go to serenity.config, they have written all the initialization part will be there, right? Like suppose what driver we want to initialize, we can give that web driver equal to home. Okay, so like suppose we want to automate in Windows, we want to automate in Macs, we can give that. Okay, and if you want to do in headless, headless, background running, we can give a true there. So different drivers, they have already set up this one, no need to do anything, right? Normally in a Selenium we used to write code for this, and for different environments also they are given. If you scroll down, right, for different environments, like for default environment, for development environment, what is the URL for a staging environment, what is the URL on production environment, what is the URL. So different URLs. So what server you want, what URL you want to hit it, right? You can call it from this Serenity config. This defaultly they have given it, so we can just edit it and enhance it. So this is the work we are going to. So this Serenity framework we can enhance it to our own way, right? The own way what we want, we can do it. So that is also the one beauty of this Serenity framework. Okay. Now, if you go to your right, normally in Selenium, right, we used to have your reusable functions. If you are like attended my previous videos, right, we have created some Selenium reusable functions. No need to write in our Serenity framework because they have written all the entire reusable functions is written by the Serenity guys. So we just call those methods. No need to write those Serenity reusable functions here. So that is also one advantage here. Okay. So this framework makes the work easy. Mostly many MNC companies they order for this Serenity framework, right? So instead of developing from the scratch, right, they just play, right? They just enhance it according to their own needs. Okay. Now we'll create that pages, right? Can you go to the SRC main Java? Expand this SRC main Java. So we don't have any base class or reusable functions in this framework. So we're just going to call it, right? So now we'll go to src test Java and create one package, okay? Com.pages, right? So first in this tutorial we'll see with Selenium with Serenity. And next tutorial we'll see the same thing with Serenity and rest assured. Already you have attended our rest assured videos also. Soon, right? We'll give you that Serenity with the rest assured video also. Okay. Now we did form.pages. Okay. Now you create write another package, right? Com.steps. And your step definition. Normally, right, we are adding one more layer here. Normally, in our Selenium Cucumber, we have three layers, right? One is your pages, next one is your step definition and runner class. Where we have here is three layers here. Okay, so we have three layers here. So one is your four layers here. Sorry, one is the pages, next one is steps, step definition, and your runner class. Okay. So now we'll go to the com.pages and create a new class. Okay. So we'll just do the basic login code and we'll try to enhance it later. Okay. So we'll just see the basic code. Okay. Orange login. Hope you have seen our video like Orange end-to-end framework which we developed and we recorded the video and sent, right. You can check our previous videos where we developed one full project, right. We recorded and we sent the YouTube video, so you can see the previous videos in our Change to Automation channel. Okay. Now we'll just same thing, right. We'll just call initialize and call those methods, right. Same thing what we learned, right. Okay. You can use the create the methods. So I will create a feature file. Okay. Okay. We go to the feature file. Right click. Okay. First we'll create the feature file. Then we'll come to the pages. So it makes our work easy, right? So first login.feature. Okay. Now you type a feature. Okay. Now you just give a description of the feature. Then you can see the scenario, right? You also know scenario outline, background, and all. You all guys know, right? So just we are just not going to focus on that. So next one is a given keyword where we give a precondition. Okay, next is the when condition. The user enters username and password. Okay, next is your then condition. I think we already gave the get title in the fourth line. We just give a click submit button and click submit button. Maybe you can. Okay, leave it right. Fine. We'll move on, right? You can give the scenario outline if you want. Okay, give examples. Okay, see now, right? We'll pass the username and password here. Okay, so we'll pass the two values here. Okay, so these are all basic things, right? You all know we did multiple times. Okay, so our motive is to see try with Serenity. That is our motive here. Okay, so this is a future file. Now we'll go to we'll create the step definition now. We'll run it and we'll create the step definition methods here. Click details. I think you can change the future file name and see. Okay, so we have generated these methods, right? Our step definition methods here. We are just going to copy this and paste in our step definition file. We are going to create a class orange HRM step definition underscore step definition. So we are importing all the packages now. Okay, now we'll first we'll create the pages, then we'll come to the steps and we'll do it. Or first we'll go to the pages, right? We'll initialize all our locators. Right, first what is a public void? You create a public void, right? First we'll call the right get type. So we'll go there, okay. Then create public void, enter username and password. So we'll create. I will have separate methods for username and password. Now we'll have another method for password now. So another right one beauty is it makes the beauty in Serenity is you making it your script shorter, right, and understandable, readable, right. So you are right. You are segregating the framework in a very shorter way and readable and understandable way. So that is also one purpose of your right goal of your Serenity. So you are instead of right, you are just cutting short the codes right into segregating into different sections. Okay. Now right. Okay, so we'll extend the reusable methods which the Serenity guys have already right they are created. So that class right if you name is page objects where the entire reusable methods will be written by the Serenity guys. So if you go there over it and go to that right code, no, you can see the entire. Can you go to that method? You can see right the entire methods whatever is needed for the Selenium right, which will be created by the Serenity guys, right? So if you see the screen, right, you can see the implicit right, explicit right, you can see the codes, okay, and they are given the constructor there, so they are given the constructor, okay. So there you have right all the fluent right. You can see the different weights, right. You can see in the right in the Serenity, right in the pages. If you scroll down, you can see the like handing a drop down, file upload, right, choosing a radio button, checkbox, right. All the Selenium reusable functions, no need to write. They have written all these methods. We are just going to call. But in rather, right, without using this, we have to write all these methods. Like in normal our Serenity BD, we have to write these methods where the Serenity guys have already written all these methods. We're just going to use that. That's why we extended that right page objects where it has all the code. Okay, so we're just going to use it. We use this right code. Okay. Okay, so now we created the methods, and now right, we'll just locate that particular right web elements in our right pages, right? So we'll give that by dot. So there is a method right in our Serenity, right? Get driver. Get driver method is used to get the driver, right? Which driver? For example, if you go to a Serenity config, right? We are going to use the right Chrome driver now. So we are just going to call. There is a method in our Serenity, right? So that is called as get driver. That get driver will call this right driver equal to Chrome. They are inbuilt. They have written some right code for that. That using that we are just going to call that which driver we want. We are going to run it, and you have that SRC test resources web driver Windows Chrome driver, right? So you can right you can locate that and you can download that. If you see your framework, they would have already kept the drivers in the folder project folder. Okay, that you are going to call it now. Okay, so you can see right Windows, Mac, right? They have kept the driver there that we are going to call it now. Okay, so get driver method is to get the driver which we are going to run. That which driver we are trying will pass in the config file. Okay, so get driver dot get title is a method you all know, right? It takes the title of the page. Okay, now right we'll locate the username. Okay, the syntax is right. Dollar by dot. Okay, so what we are going to locate by dot id, we'll go to that orange arrow and locate that. And we in Selenium, we normally in Selenium, right, we use send keys. You all know, right? We use a method called send keys. But in Serenity, we have another method, right? Type, right? You have a method called type. Type, right? So this method send keys, it's the same like right here send keys where we used to pass the values. Here type method also we can pass the values. Now what we'll do is okay we'll do for the other things, the password and submit button also. submit button, right? We can take the X path if it's needed. Okay. So okay, now we'll go to the orange HRM and we'll locate that. Okay, now right. Sorry, there was a sound. Okay, now we write we took our right ID from that. You all know you can see from the. This is a basic thing in our Selenium, right? So we are going to pass the password here, and we are going to locate the password, and we are going to paste it here. Okay, now we are going to take the X path of your submit button. Okay, so this is one way, and we can use our like other way we know all know do, right? Find by annotation. That also we can do, but this is a very simple way. We used to do in our page object model, right? Add find by annotation, and we used to write initialize to the page factory. Hope you remember, you know that, right? So we can use that way, but this is very simpler way of doing that. Okay, so we just locate all your elements here. Now there we are adding another one layer called as test steps. Okay, steps, right? So can you go to the steps pages package, and we are adding one more layer here. So you create one class now. Normally, right, without Cucumber, we used to call this pager to a test cases. It's nothing but the same thing. Okay, just calling those right methods in test cases, that is steps. From that, we will call to the step definition now. Okay, so you can create a class now for calling this right initialize that right login page. Given a global variable orange HRM login. Okay, you can give now right login dot. Okay, this is one annotations right in our right Serenity. Okay, so you can now we can call those methods which you created in the pages. So using our right step annotation, we are breaking that right code into right breaking in our code right, and for each step right, we each method we create one step. So with this, what we are doing is we are breaking the code into pieces. That then we are calling it, so it's for easy understanding, right, and reusability also, and it can be easily maintained also. That is the purpose. Okay. Now we'll call those right methods which we created in our pages here. Okay, so now, right, we'll call that submit button also method here. Submit button and title method also. So it's nothing but we are adding one more layer. After that, we are calling it normally in Cucumber, right? We just call directly to our step definition file. But here we are just giving one, right? One more layer. Okay. Now, right? We normally in Selenium, right? We used to write launch app code, right? System dot set property or WebDriver manager dot Chrome driver dot setup. We write the code, right? So Serenity guys have defaultly written that code in the thing. So login dot open. If you go, can you go to the open code? Can you hover it on open and go to that? Can you go there? See, right? They have written right this open code here. Okay. So where right it calls this one calls right goes and calls a driver. What driver? Right? Get URL right or initialize the page right. So this right you can see right initialize page right. So all the right URLs will be called here with the help of your open method. So open method will do the launching code right. So which browser you want to launch right, which URL, right, URL and the driver, right, all the maximize thing which you used to do in our Selenium, right. So that is done with the help of your open method. So no need to write, you just call the methods which the Serenity guys have already written. Okay. Now we'll go to that code. Okay, so this is what we do instead. So it's, we are making the code little bit simpler now. Okay. Now what we are going to is we are going to insert BDD now. Okay. So till now we didn't insert BDD. Now we are going to do BDD. You all know, right? BDD behavior driven framework where right. So we write some future file, write some steps, right? With that we call this right methods. Okay. Now we already written the future file and we generated the methods and we kept in the step definition file. We can go to step definition file now. Now we'll call the methods. Okay, steps, right? So this steps annotation we just use to write call all the steps from our right steps for package. Okay, now we just call those methods. That's it. The other methods we wrote in our steps. Just same thing. We are just adding one more layer. That's it. And we are using that right functions, right reusable methods, which the Serenity guys have already written. So this makes our time right little bit reduced. No need to write all this right the entire framework. We no need to write. So just you will just use it the framework. We're just reducing the time here. Okay. Now, right? So now we can go to the runner class now. I think everything is set now. We will go to the runner class. You all know, but the only difference here is the run with. Okay, So rest everything is the same, right? There we'll use that cucumber dot class. But here, if you see the run with, right, we are running through JNet, not with the SNG. Okay. So right, cucumber with Serenity class, and we are importing that package. Rest everything is same. The plugin, the glue. Okay. Can you just check your step definition? Its package is right. Spelling, you have the spelling mistake is there. Both are same. Go to the refactor. Okay. Now can you run the code now? So it started now. It's executing now. Can you go and check what's here? Check the driver, Chrome driver.
இது மாதிரி plugin போட்
We had that Chrome driver problem. So we updated that Chrome driver now. Now the code is running. So it was 84, but the browser has updated to 85. So we updated the Chrome driver. We added the Chrome driver. Now we are again running the code now. So can you go to that runner class? First we'll run with the runner class. Then we'll run with the pom.xml. So you can see, right, in our console, you see Serenity test started, you can see, and you can see the launch app also. So we gave examples in our Synergy outline to iterate 2 times. Okay, so iterating now. It's invalid credentials, it won't log in. Now we'll give the second one. Second one will be valid credentials, it will log in. Now it's logging, right? So it's clicking the submit button, it's going to the dashboard page. So it's working, right? So the code is working now. Okay. So now it's work, right? So we want to generate reports also, right? Can we go to the pom.xml? See, normally we used to give some report, right? Extend report, logger report. We used to add your pom.xml, right? So we are adding this right execution, this plugin, right? Include right to the plugin for this right execution in our right for getting that reports. Okay, so we add that. Now you run that pom.xml now. This and all is defaultly written by the right Serenity guys. We are not doing anything. Just I'm just showing that right. So that one. Okay, click Maven test. So no need to add anything. Everything will be right done by the Serenity people. So you can also see the log4 here. So logger also is generating, right? You can observe, right? So everything is already inbuilt here. So normally we used to add the logger dot in Selenium. So no need to add that also. So Maven plugin, Sunfire plugin, right? Compiler plugin, everything is added in that pom.xml now. Can we see the reports? We ran with Maven install for generating the reports. Okay. Now see the browser launching, Serenity test launching. Okay, it's iterating for the second time now. So, right now you can see the okay. Now test is passed, right? Okay. Now it generated a report. It is giving a URL, right? Can you copy that URL? Yeah, like and right an address bar. Go there. We click that one. It should have generated one report. Okay. Now click it. .index.html file. So if you see that, you can see the detailed report, right? So this is an like comfortable report, easy report, right? It is already which we don't need to do anything. It's we get by default. This is a good report, right? So if you see, right, you can see all the loggers, right, passing, failing, everything you can see. Like, and you can also see the scenario outline also, the data, whatever data we pass, okay, and you can see the execution time also, right, how many scenarios we executed, right, how much is passed and how much is failed, what are the detailed steps, right, and what are the values which we pass, right, everything we can see in this report, okay, and also you can see the logger also. Can you go to the test results? Okay, you can see the time, execution time, right? You can see it, right? Scroll down, right? And another one beauty here is it takes screenshot. Normally, we use write one method for taking a screenshot, right? Here, if you see, right, it automatically takes the screenshot. Okay, so no need to write any code here, right? Right for taking a screenshot. So this is an in the framework. In this framework, we have this option of getting a screenshot for the each right feature file keyword, right? Whatever keyword which you are using, given, right, when, right? It takes each file and it takes a logger also, what data is passing. So everything we can get, we can see it easily, and we can see the individual step execution time also. Okay, so this is one right advantages in your right Serenity Cucumber. Okay, so right, where is the logger, right? Yeah, so we can see the with the time also. Okay, right, for each step we can see the time also. Okay, so this is an advantage in your right Serenity with Cucumber. Okay, so this is right, guys. So next, right, next tutorial we'll see about Serenity with REST assured. Okay, so we are planning for that framework also. You can see in our channel Change2Test Automation regarding the REST assured tutorials, and right, we'll soon next week, right? We will see about the Serenity with right Serenity Cucumber with REST assured. Okay, thanks for right seeing.